How do you do, Unknown Brigade? Good to see you again. And how is everybody this evening? Again, apologies for the late start, but I did announce that on Twitter. I wanted to make sure that I got a bit of a walk and a read in, which I realize sounds very, I don't know. Oh, sorry. Let me just adjust a quick setting here. It sounds very, I don't know. Well, can't you just do that some other time? What I've noticed is with streaming, it's very easy to let a sort of a deadline or a scheduling commitment become sort of this thing that you sort of put an undue weight on. Now it'd be nice if I could organize my day a little bit better so that I could meet the schedule and also get some of those other activities in. But I've noticed that more and more I'm sort of skipping stuff to make sure that I do a cast sort of within the parameters of when I normally say I'll do that. I'm not entirely happy with that kind of an outcome. I certainly like streaming for everybody, and I like I like being able to share games like this with you. But I mean, it's a hobby, and I can't think of a lot of times where one sort of puts one's life on hold for for a hobby like this. No, it's a good hobby, and you guys support it a lot. So I also feel, especially with donations and such, that it would be, if I'm going to sort of stop doing it, that I should be announcing that ahead of time, and I certainly have no intention of stopping. But I think it's not bad to get a little bit of equilibrium back in terms of time. So anyways, we're back to Battletech. I like this game a lot. There were some comments on another... I was playing a different game about the state of the game, and rather than talk about the pronouns like I did for maybe too long last cast, I do kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the other problems people have with this game. I can also offer sort of my thoughts on that, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth going into it. One thing that I like quite a bit was oops, sorry, just a second here. Hey, we've got the buttery man crumpet himself sending out a retweet. Johnny, if you hear this either on VOD or live, I've noticed your retweets lately. I appreciate that quite a bit. It's one thing to get a retweet and attention. That is, by the way, so if you guys ever want to show support to a cast, not everybody can donate. Not everybody wants to donate. There are lots of other things that are worth your money. But one thing that makes a caster feel great is that kind of support in terms of getting the word out there. And when it's people whose casts you respect in your own right, or in their own right rather, that's always something that feels really great. So let's talk about Battletech. Hey Johnny, we were just talking about you. Thank you very much for your retweets lately. I was just saying that it's always very nice to get attention and very nice to have people get the word out. But when it's somebody you really like when you really like somebody's content and they do the retweet, that just gives you a little extra perk. Weather outside, I don't know if you guys can hear that wind, but I wasn't kidding when I said it's weather fit for King Lear. The nice thing is I have these windows where like the one layer is open a crack, and then I opened on the opposite side the other layer. So I have this nice little breeze coming through while it's like, a hurricane outside. So this is Battletech. It's one of the things that's really neat about this game. So I'll talk a little bit about what I like, and then we'll run into the management part. The game delivers on the mech thing, right? So when somebody sees a game about mechs, they want to have a giant robot that can stomp on things and shoot lasers and just generally make a spectacle of itself. But I think one of the things that is so interesting, and actually I was reading a couple of the BattleTech core rule books, and they make a point that BattleTech is more than just sort of a rule system. It's a setting. It's one where there's a ton of novels written. The rule books have these interesting, short stories inside of them. There's a big backstory that's written. I think one of the things that they were trying to sell the game as was sort of like Game of Thrones in space. Obviously, the conflicting houses and such were part of BattleTech long before George R.R. Martin started writing a Game of Thrones. But I think Jordan Weisman did an interview with PC Gamer and says, like, well, we're just taken from the same source material, like the Roman Empire and it splitting apart. So one of the things that I like about this game, the heart of it is still a turn-based strategy game. I think some people call it a little bit XCOM-like. I'm not entirely sure. I sort of understand where it comes from. And it's not entirely unfair. I think people who like turn-based strategy like XCOM will enjoy BattleTech. And then, of course, XCOM has sort of unleashed on the world. I mean, the original XCOM did this, and then the Firaxis one just made it cool again. But this idea of management in between missions and then the actual the battles. I think the core of the game is the battles, but there's a couple of things that make this game quite interesting. One, the turn-based battles, I know the complaint about it was that it feels a bit slow. I don't agree. That's a pure taste thing. But I think what really works for me in this title is it feels very much like the board game or the tabletop game. I don't know if it counts as a board game because normally you use just like hex maps. But the reason why I'm very reluctant to say that it's too slow is like I find that when I'm playing the game, I'm thinking quite a bit about what my next few moves are. So, it's not a problem to me that, I'm going to be waiting for some period of time in between moves. It might be just a loading thing that people are complaining about, but like, I don't complain about it when I do it in XCOM, and I don't really feel it in BattleTech. So I might just be coming in with a different set of expectations than people. Another thing that, so something that came up when I was playing Cultist Simulator was the idea that the story isn't very good. And that was funny because it's actually one thing I think they did very well with BattleTech, which was that it is a series of books and a TV show, and there's this whole story that's worked out. And I thought that they did a very nice job. So they set you in the periphery, so you don't actually need to know the differences between the great houses to be able to, to play this game. But you learn more about the world through the interactions in terms of what's going on. Now, it's not Shadowrun in the sense that, you don't take these people on, well, only one of them you really take on missions. But you learn more about the ship and the cause that you're fighting for through this. And so I like the setting, and I like the way that they've set it up. I don't really agree with the assertion that the character development isn't there, but it's also not... So I don't really see... So I don't think you're going to see a mission like Glory's mission in Shadowrun Dragonfall. I think Kamea, the person who's hired you, will very likely have a mission where she pilots a mech. Yeah, I think I like the fact that this game actually does bother with a story, and it doesn't, it isn't just about the mechs, because that to me has always been a part. Like, I never really had people to play board games with, and so a big part of BattleTech for me was just reading all the books and like designing my own mechs and playing out all of these fantasies, and and reading about the houses and all the interplay and the idea of all of this technology being lost, so you couldn't do things like destroy a jump ship and all of that. It really appealed to me, so I like that it's in the game. And then finally, the thing that I like is that the management part of the game, they seem to have built it so that you really are sort of leaning into this this mercenary idea, that if you
pull up a chair,
if you want, you can sort of ignore the main story. You can just keep doing all of these jobs. You've got your mech bay, the customizations there. I really haven't taken advantage of it yet, but I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that this cast. And just overall, it's a game that I think, as a fan of the tabletop game, it's really hit all of the areas that I wanted it to. And another thing that's really encouraging is I saw the update from Harebrained Schemes on Kickstarter, and it seems that they understand exactly what people are unhappy with, and they're going to address them, which I think is really encouraging. So they're going to be adding different difficulty levels. They're going to maybe sand down some of the sharper edges on some of the randomly generated missions, and they're going to be working on sort of optimizing the load times in that. So it's obvious that they're listening, and I think we'll be better for it. Anyways, I'm going to advance time. I'm going to get my main character to heal so I can get a little bit of experience on this mission. All right, so we've got a financial report in 2 days, so if we can get a little bit of extra cash, so much the better. We've got an interdiction, so it's the easiest mission that I can go for. It's on Badlands. We need to ambush another convoy, so this is going to be a little tricky. We're tracking Merrick supply convoys that have been delivering weapons and explosives to the self-appointed warlord here on Detroit. In return, his fighters have been wreaking havoc on local government facilities in the region. We need you to interdict this convoy and destroy it. So I would like to do more story stuff. But the idea here is that the first strike. So one of the reasons I'm holding back is this is the idea. This is going to be where we start the fight to take back Kameha's throne. And so the idea here is that I don't want to do any of that until I'm actually ready to back it up. So for now, let's go. These are going to be lightly armored targets, Commander. The real challenge will be keeping them from making a run for it. Good to know. I don't think I have any options in terms of mechs that I'm going to be bringing in. I think I'm refitting some of them, but we've heard you're a competent mercenary. We've been having some trouble lately, and if you could resolve it for us, we'll ensure that you're paid well. If not, so be it. So the fact that the fact that they say that there's not going to be that many enemies in there. Hello, the Eyes of Sin. How are you doing? I'll be doing some shout outs in a little bit for Johnny Big Time and the Eyes of Sin. I just want to make sure that I've got something of a pulse in chat. So the fact that they say that there's going to be light resistance means that I'm probably not going to have as much salvage, but you'll notice here, like, it is pretty. So there's definitely a curve to this, right? So in this case, I'm getting basically another 70k. Here it's another 70k as well, but you'll notice, like, I go from 8 total scrap, 2 choices, to, okay, I'm losing 3 scrap and a choice, and now, I mean, it's another 3 scrap and a choice, but now I've gone from like 8 to 2. And scrap, I mean, the resale value is worth something on its own, so I will go for a little bit less salvage, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the random number. Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute, where'd all my mechs go? All right, so we've got a spider here. And we're going to put... Okay, so if it's a light resistance, I'm actually going to put Medusa in the Shadowhawk. I could potentially make him pilot my Blackjack, but I like the idea of my guy always staying in his mech. So... Well, you know what? No, we'll put we on the odd chance. So I don't want to don't want to throw everything in on the possibility that we're not going to face some resistance. I think I should still have a tank out front. Hello, Sungnif. Well, there's quite a few of you in already. Maybe I should do my shoutouts now. And Johnny, I haven't seen you streaming the last little while. Have I just not been on at a good time, or have you been taking a little bit of a break? All right. So one of the problems that I ran into before was that the vehicles really do move quite fast, and they're quite a bit more heavily armored than I thought they would be. So I quite like this game. I have some thoughts about why people are complaining about the RNG, but I don't share the complaints that people have had about this game. I did kickstart it. I have no intention of shilling for the game, but I like it a lot. I think it's a very well done game, and I think it's a very faithful adaptation to the BattleTech tabletop game. Commander, we need to stop those weapon convoys. Let's move up, get eyes on the target, and intercept them. Then we'll extract at the designated location. Good hunting, Commander. Okay. So let's, I think we'll move our people along the roads.
Aye, aye.
Or at least as close to the roads as we can manage.
Uh-huh.
And Decker can actually catch up, so we'll move him in a scouting position. Thank you. One of the things that
I've got eyes on the target.
here we go. Okay, where's the... Alright, I think we can manage.
What's up, boss?
On my way.
So yeah, I think we're still going to move our main force up the roads. We can fan out a little bit later. I'm going to use Decker. So the thing about the light... I normally like the Locust, but I've learned to love the Spider as a scouting mech in a way that I didn't really appreciate it before. If I play Mech Warrior Online, I'm still gonna opt for...
Show 'em what you've got.
Okay, I'm still gonna opt for my good old Locust. But... Okay.
Receiving you.
So what I'm gonna do here, I actually just want to get eyes on people.
Lifting off.
And then I'm going to sensor lock the mech.
Sensors locked on.
Alright, we've got another one as well. Ooh, okay. PPC is not to be trifled with.
Waiting for orders.
So, again, my Shadowhawk's my main, my Shadowhawk is my main tank, so I want to have that on, I want to have that out front. And I have a sensor lock on, yeah, I have a sensor lock on this Jenner, so we will, I mean, it's not going to be a high chance, but
Target confirmed.
we'll knock a little bit of evasion off and see what we can get. Turns out we did some respectable damage. So again, we definitely want to be taking the convoy out, but
Waiting for orders.
right now I definitely want to be focusing on the escorts.
You betcha.
And again, we're going to be doing another missile move here, which is not exciting, but the thing is that we've got high ground right along this path. So the nice thing about this positioning is that we have the ability to close the distance to the convoy. We're going to get some missile shots off on their light units.
Uh-huh.
And then sort of we get a second turn. All right, we didn't get anything out of that.
Systems recycling for another shot.
Okay, this is generally pretty good. Again, I'm going to need to make sure that Decker is safe, but... Now the trick here is I don't have any good shots, but this does mean that I'm able to sprint. And sprinting will potentially also protect this mech, so we'll do the sprint now. I still don't get any shots, but I do get vision. So the question is, am I willing to put my Blackjack in a little bit of risk? I think I will, actually. Yeah, not a problem at all. So these will be great for getting these little pot shots as the things move by. Okay, Striker's a little bit of a pain. Okay, but he survived, so... I'm a little tempted to try and take these guys from behind, but I know there is a mech that has got a PPC to defend them, so I need to be a little more careful.
Yes,
Okay,
Commander.
so as always, we'll start with Decker. I think just a good old-fashioned jump will be what the doctor ordered. If I can get him in some kind of cover while still getting a shot off, that's the best scenario. I don't think that's happening, though. Okay, so this is putting him in a little more risk than I would normally want, but the good news is that he has quite a bit of evasion as a result of this jump. So he's maybe not going to be great at he's not going to be great at getting any of these shots, but it's a little bit more than I thought I was going to get. And if this guy tries with a PPC again, I'm going to... All right, where is he soft? I'm kind of tempted to... Nah, I don't think I want to try the called shot yet. But yeah, so this is basically just an attempt to get a little more chip damage on the Jenner. If he wastes his PPC on Decker, I mean, it's possible he dies. There's always some risk involved in this. But again, if they waste the attention on my scout, then that's going to give me another chance for my guys to come in and do some serious damage.
Giving him everything I've got.
Okay, that's pretty good. It'd be nice if we got a critical hit, but... Yeah, he's being pretty smart and staying out of radio, or staying out of
Internal structure
radar.
damage.
I'm actually quite surprised that that Jenner stood still. Actually, no, that had to be the unknown mech. All right, so let's see what Behemoth can do. Behemoth, unfortunately, is still stuck with rockets only. But I'll live with that, and I'm still going to do the move because this Jenner is standing still now. So this should mean that the LRM is going to be able to do some serious damage. I mean, it's still only a 60% chance, but... Yeah, I just got hit armor. I think I'm probably going to have to move Spider out. Okay, so the real question is, am I able to get... It looks like I am able to get this shot, so... I'm going to see if I do Precision Strike on the Jenner. And I go for the torso. Let's see if we can take this guy out. No.
Commander, I'm hit.
Lucky shot.
I hear ya.
All right. I'm still gonna go for the rockets
Don't need to tell me twice.
on the Jenner. The Jenner's probably gonna be the scrap that I go for because I know we'll be able to build one after that. But I'm probably gonna have to pull. Decker out after that headshot. Yeah, it didn't quite do what I wanted it to. The strikers are eventually going to become the priority target, but for now I'm going to...
That shot went internal.
Okay, so the trick here is going to be I'm going to move Decker sort of to the side of the mountain here so that he can start working on the convoy like this. That's quite a bit of internal damage. Yeah, so that was the big risk of putting him on this mountain here. I did get some vision, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to be worth the money that I'm paying to fix him.
Reporting heavy damage.
Thing here is there's going to be so many vehicles that we need to take out, and we still haven't taken out their escorts. Ouch. That wasn't worth it at all.
My internals are taking a beating.
Okay, we gotta get him out of there.
Good to go.
That sucks. Alright. So we're gonna sensor lock the Jenner just...
Got a lock.
Actually, that probably wasn't the smartest decision because my guys are gonna get vision through other means.
Good to go.
But I am gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna be able to bring up Behemoth and do some
Roger.
serious damage. This was... So the flaw with Decker was I kept him in the fight too long. Whereas the Shadowhawk is basically the one that should actually be standing there and taking the hits. With luck, we'll take out the Jenner, so the rest of my team will be able to nail the convoy. Yep, that's exactly what we got. Okay, that's great news.
Down.
We should be able to get okay scrap off of that. So what I'm going to do next with this Shadowhawk, I'm actually going to move it up and stomp on the Scorpion. So the question is, I think I'm going to wait a little bit, and I'm actually going to reply on the Striker here. The reason for that is the Striker hasn't moved yet, and it's a potential threat to Decker. So in this case, it makes a little more sense to go after it. I'm not going to do a precision strike or anything like that. If we get lucky, we can actually take this... Oh no, not with that armor. You know what?
Engaging target.
Primary target is taking damage.
Getting completely fine with this.
Good to go.
All right. So this one's a little bit of a dilemma, just because I actually want to be able to get some real shots off on these
Moving out.
vehicles. I'm gonna take a quick look at the Scorpion. So they're not too bad for damage either. I do think I want to try and take out that. I do think I want to try and take out that Striker though. So. Ah, the PPC missed. The LRMs aren't going to do anything to this, so I should actually split that out so something with weaker armor gets hit by it. So with any luck, they target the Shadowhawk, but if they're smart, they'll take Spider, because I'm going to... Yep. I need...
That shot got past my armor.
Yeah, I need to pull him straight out of the fight now. He might actually get knocked down this turn, though. It's my best pilot. Yeah, my arm got shot off. So this is one of the things about BattleTech. The damage is location based. So you can potentially lose I cannot believe he is still standing. Nope. I couldn't believe it because it wasn't true.
Damn it! I'm wounded.
Yeah, and he's knocked down, so. That was a really bad decision to put him up there. Oh my god. That Panther's gonna kill him. Oh good, it went for the Shadowhawk. But yeah, so like you can have an important piece of gear in your
Commander?
you can have an important piece of gear in your line like
Alright. Ready for action.
Alright. So I'm just gonna jump him
Lifting
straight
off.
into the forest. But yeah, so like if you have a really important piece of gear in your if you have a really important piece of gear in like that one location, like that arm,
Yes, Commander.
then obviously it's kind of devastating to lose it. You can also do melee attacks, which I like a lot. I might even start focusing on these tanks. Yep,
Scratch
never mind.
Reporting. Enemy vehicle eliminated.
Okay, I think I know how I'm gonna play this. The Shadowhawk's gonna wind up taking a lot of damage as a result of this, but I'm okay with that risk.
What can I do for you?
So glitch. I do like her being on the high ground. So we're gonna stand and deliver.
Time to die.
That thing is tough. So I might sit here and wait for the Panther. Yeah, I think we're gonna reserve my guy. Jesse Quill, thank you very much for the host. How are you doing? So I'm reserving my guy to the very end. It means my Shadowhawk's going to take some damage, but it does also mean that I might be able to do something about that Panther.
Damage is light.
Of course, the catch here is that if the damage starts going internal, I'm going to pay with that out of the fee. What if instead of weapons you slotted dads into your What?
I'm under heavy fire.
Yeah, I gotta be careful about the stability. And it seems like that wasn't the right call to wait, because there's nothing else going on with that Panther right now, so let's just see if we can take out the striker. Okay, that's cool. So that's gonna be one more item that one more unit that the Shadowhawk can step on. Hey, there's the Panther. That's probably going to do something to the Shadowhawk. Okay. Oh wow, they managed to get the right arm off of that. This is going to turn out to be a very expensive mission.
That shot went internal. Damn it! I'm hit.
I'm not going to be able to take any missions for a while after this, unfortunately.
Yes, Commander.
Alright. Can I get a sensor lock? I can. Okay.
I've got a sensor lock.
Yeah, so the plan, Johnny Big Time, was I was going to try and move around the units that I wanted to step on.
Reporting. Minimal damage.
The problem was I left that unit far too open to ballistic fire, which translates to them... I'm not able to move them at all. Bad luck.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Okay, well, I'm going to use jump jets to close the distance.
Ready, set.
And we're going to precision strike. Actually, you know what? We're going to precision strike, and we're going to go for the head. Even though it's a 1 in a million, if we get to end the convoy escorts with a PPC shot to the head, that's absolutely worth taking the shot.
Here we go.
Well, not exactly what I wanted, but that's not a bad result either. So I'm probably going to wind up needing all hands, and going into this rough terrain is going to be tough because of all that ballistic weapons damage. So potentially what's going to happen to my Blackjack is it's going to get knocked over just because it's on rough terrain. But again, I'm able to do precision strike, and now I get to I get another crack at the guy's head.
Engaging target.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. I'm surprised I'm not able to get my Shadowhawk up. Ah, here we go.
Receiving you.
So the good news here is I'm going to be so normally you don't want your back facing the...
Okay, back in the fight.
You don't normally want your back facing the enemy, but in this case this is actually potentially an advantage because all the armor is fresh there. But this is originally what I was going to do, which was basically expose my other side so that the fresh armor can take a bit of a beating.
Attack.
And
Reporting. Enemy vehicle eliminated.
the drawback on this is that all of the money that I was going to be getting off of that mission is now going to go towards repairing all of my mechs.
I'm hit.
Oh crap, she's
Losing
going to
lots
die
of
soon.
armor. Reporting. Major armor loss.
Okay.
Orders?
So we'll do the same thing as before. We'll sensor lock the Panther. Actually, I guess we already have that. We'll sensor lock a second target. I forgot. Behemoth has for health, so.
Losing armor.
So the real dilemma on this one is she might
Commander.
fall. Yeah, I'm gonna risk it with turning my back on them. She might fall with some more ballistic hits, but the ability to just take out another one of these strikers with a melee attack is too good.
Get your lance to the LZ, Commander. I'm coming in hot.
Okay.
Vehicle trashed.
So one of the challenges that I face now is I do have the opportunity to extract my units, but the drawback is they actually have to cross a fairly dangerous area. So like Decker is one shot away from elimination, and the Shadowhawk's looking pretty banged up. So I'm gonna do instead,
go.
I'm actually gonna just straight up close the gap with the Panther. Hang on, what's the range on a PPC? I'm not going crazy. There were some stats there a second ago. Very long range. Okay. There's got to be a good spot for me to fire this stuff from. Could try the jump. Still no good jumps though. Oh, hang on. So this is high ground. Yep, so we're just going to engage them at range
Got it.
with the PPC. Alright, overheat. Even if I put on my LRM. So is the internal damage worth it? With a precision strike to the torso it is.
Tell me what to shoot.
Oh, you're kidding me. Missed a called shot. It's an achievement for that and everything. Alright, that's not what I wanted to have happen. I think you figured that out already, though. Alright, well...
Engaging jump jets.
Don't have any more called shots left, so we'll just spray and pray with the... Thank you very much for the subscription, Jesse Quill. Okay, that's not a surprise, but at least we're more stable.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
And thank you very
My
much for the host, the
internal is
Isaacson.
taking a beating.
So I might actually get Behemoth out of the fight, but we'll
Ready for orders.
we'll see. Is anybody? Everybody's just standing still now. I'm gonna reserve him to see if I can maybe get a finishing. Right, that's good because the Blackjack hasn't taken any damage yet.
Damage minimal.
By the way, we've got Jesse Quill, who has been subscribed for 11 months now. Okay, let's see if I can jump to something sort of resembling the same level of ground. Yeah, so this is gonna hurt my oh, well, this closes the distance, so I'm actually willing to take this shot. Especially because I'm cooking in my Vindicator, so I kind of want to make stuff happen. I'll just do an Alpha Strike on this guy and hope for the best. We won't go for any scrap recovery on this.
All weapons committed.
Man, that wasn't enough to seal the deal on anything. Well, we got a head hit, but I'm slightly tempted actually to bring the Shadowhawk out of hibernation and
Internal structure damage. Yes, Commander.
yeah, I mean, let's go for it.
Acknowledged.
It's not going to be great for my stability, but this thing's looking pretty rickety, but we should also be able to...
Engaging with target. What can I do for you?
Okay, so we can't fire with the PPC, that's for sure. I also really can't... I don't think this is going to work, but I'm probably just going to have to use the missiles. Okay. I'm just below the threshold.
Special delivery!
So the real dilemma now is what I want to do with Decker. Because he's sitting on basically 42 damage and he's dead, or losing another component and he's dead. So I think discretion's the better part of valor on this one, and we'll get him to continue on. Well, actually, sensor lock never hurt anybody, so.
I've got a sensor lock.
Jesus.
Commander, I'm wounded.
Standing by.
It's possible I'm gonna lose. It's possible I'm gonna lose one or the other pilot. So let's get really risky. I'm gonna get a nice high ground shot on this Panther. Sadly, there's no called shots. And this is the one side I don't want to do this on because it's very likely I'm going to take the right-hand side of his stuff. But we might also be able to take it out, so...
Targeting for an alpha strike.
It's the one thing I didn't want to take out. Okay. We live to fight another day. Okay, so...
Orders.
I'm gonna start my move with Behemoth, and this is gonna be basically be for security. So I want to move. All right, what are we dealing with here? I kind of want to move as far. I want to move as far in as I can to stop that other tank from being able to get a shot.
On my way.
So the assumption here is that Behemoth is going to be able to take out the Panther, and the rest of the team is going to take out that Scorpion. Almost no chance with that LRM, but we're going to fire it anyway. If anything, we'll just get a little more stability damage in.
Reporting critical hit.
Yeah, I don't need critical hits though. I actually need to finish the job. Oof. Okay, well the good news is they've taken all their shots, so... again, just straight in close range. I thought I had the multiple targeting, but I was wrong on that, so... again, we'll take down the low likelihoods, but I am going to fire with all 4 medium lasers. Again, that'll probably wreck any salvage that I have on this thing, but I need it. I need this off the board.
Let's go, let's go.
Enemy mech destroyed.
And then
I hear ya.
finally with glitch. I'm not going to be able to do much with the PPC, unfortunately, but again, if we can try and... Again, the more I try and close the ground with my existing units, the less likely that they're going to try and take out people like Spider or the Shadowhawk. I don't see much use in using the LRM here, so... And what are we looking at? I mean, it's possible we take this thing out on this shot. I might as well use a precision strike for the weakest part. So 30 armor, 20 armor. Oh. I think this is worth it.
Roger that. Firing on target.
I have half a mind to use Decker to fire on that thing. Oh god, no.
Losing lots of armor. Receiving you.
Again, I gotta get him out of line of sight. As tempting as it is to try and get him to, like, step on it or something like that, we'll just do a good old-fashioned... Okay, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my 2 fresh mechs to go hunt down that...
Vehicle trashed.